Well, welcome back one and all. We're straight back into the action this time. We are still in the same area. In this random bit of wilderness. I guess halfway between Nashkel and Beregost. Alwyn really did want to stick to the coast to kind of stay away as far from the towns as possible, although we are 20 hours away from Nashkel, I suppose. But we're going to try and kick back out west in this episode. While Alwyn continues to deliberate, digest, and otherwise make some sort of decision on what to do next. I think he's going to probably have a little chat with some of the other party members about that, so look out for that in the coming, possibly this episode or some future episodes. But in the meantime, we've got some gnolls for company. For some reason, we've got Edwin right at the head of the party here, but I guess it's just the way the formation got muddled. But we should be able to deal with this hopefully fairly swiftly.
My blade will cut you down to size.
And become death, destroyer of worlds.
We've got a bit of a problem because Kivin hasn't got any ranged weapons, and if you remember, well, he has, but we've only got 33 arrows, which I want to kind of keep for a rainy day at the moment. Because when I got all this stuff from Beregost, he didn't have any. The smithy wasn't open, so. Oh, blast.
And become death, destroyer of worlds.
We'll sleep them. Okay. We'll get Edwin to use his quarterstaff, shall we, and see what happens. At least it'll save on some ammo. Come on, Edwin, can you actually hit us? Oh, okay, hang on.
And become death, destroyer of worlds.
Right. Well, I hate gnolls because they always go for your little weakling party members. Really is very annoying. Go on, Alwyn, hit him. Thank you. Right. There we go, that wasn't too bad. I'm going to take all these halberds. No, I'm going to take a couple of halberds. We might be able to sell them. Okay, let's get rid of the battle music now. During this Let's Play, I've kind of spoken very kind of sporadically about Lord of the Rings, and I really just wanted to wrap that up because I finished the book a while ago. I did start talking about this in a previous episode and then kind of got waylaid by the game, surprisingly. So I just wanted to just wrap this up with a few, I guess, thoughts on the book, having read it, and it doesn't seem entirely a tangential subject given that we're playing D&D. I suppose if you want to ask me what my overriding impression of the book is, it's actually, I was left with a very strong sense of it being a great kind of act of generosity on the part of the author, in that he was able to deliver to the world, I suppose, this kind of this entirely new and fully formed world and just kind of gave it to, you know, to the world. Something which had hitherto never been done before. Obviously something that was in his head, and he managed to kind of get it on the page, get it all kind of laid out for people to kind of enjoy, and kind of leave this template for so many kind of copycat enterprises, such as this, I suppose, in a way. And that just to me seems like just a great gift. And I find nothing cynical about it, which I think is an important element, especially in this day and age. That it's written with love and passion, and let's try and avoid these bears. I don't really want to take out this family of bears. Oh, we might have to. Okay, hang on. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, we might have outrun it. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, well, we've done that, haven't we? So let's we want to go off the map west. And in terms of, you know, obviously Tolkien is regarded as a world builder without parallel, and that, you know, that potentially is. I mean, I'm not well read enough to say that, you know, he is the main man when it comes to kind of, you know, building these alternate worlds. But I mean, it is done with such mastery, and how he's come up with that, you know, confounds me to this day. So that's the main message I want to kind of bring across from reading The Lord of the Rings. Right. Doesn't say how far this little mountainous area is, but got to be about. You've got to think at least 8 hours away. Right. So we're heading back to the coast. Okay. And Kevin? 16 hours that was. And it's coming up to night time, or it is night time, and Kevin has piped up. The stars are falling, a rare and precious sight, yet it fills my soul with sadness and longing. Okay, so remember, Kevin is someone who has been wronged by Tazok, and is keen for revenge. So what are we going to say? Are we going to indulge his slightly poetic outburst here? Okay, well, a lot of these responses are kind of just taking the mickey out of Kevin, or find this kind of comment rather tiresome. So I think we'll go with the most kind response, which is obviously something that Alwyn would do. The stars are falling, as we all may fall and die. Does that sadden you, Kevin? Alwyn, when I was watching the falling stars, my heart reminded me of Dawin Teague Fear. Don't know who that is, but I felt naught but sorrow, recalling what once had been my greatest joy. Oh, okay, we can ask more about. Alwyn would be inquisitive at this point. Oh, what is? It's not a person. It's a thing. What is Dawin Teague Fear? Dawin Teague Fear is a celebration of Shilmister and my people's love for it. There is a sacred hill we call Dawin Dun, the Hill of the Stars. It raises high in the middle of the Forest of Shadows, and its top is so close to the sky that one can almost touch the stars from atop it. My people gather there sometimes on a starlit night, led by our liege, and we sing to Shilmister. When the song ends, the king showers us with the stardust and gives us his blessing. The world turns a glitter, and the voice of Shilmister whispers to every heart. It feels like standing under the fall of myriads of stars. It is the most beautiful memory I have, and yet I am disquieted by it. Okay, so this reminds me of a little ritual from back home. Nothing makes us more sorrowful than a memory of past happiness on a day of misery. I do not miss the place, Alwyn. However, I do miss those whose shadows still linger there. My Deheriana, my brothers, my father. You have your own goals, though, Alwyn, and you have no need to meet with mine. Kila Amin, follow me. We should catch up with the rest. Okay. So we're painted a slightly kind of a picture of Kivin, which says that he's a man of melancholy, I suppose. But not overly, what's the word, sentimental, I suppose. But anyway, let's. It's sort of tempting to rest actually, because how are our spells? Yeah, we've got a few little. Well, we have got quite a few spells. Let's have a little poke around here anyway. So.
May darkness prevail.
We could really do with Kivin having more than 14 hit points. Do you know? I'll tell you what. Let's have a little scout around with him.
You're a queer fellow. I'm gone.
Because it's night time as well, it's going to be a lot easier. So.
Now, Nartha.
I'm gone.
It is time for us to rest.
Okay, it's time for us to rest. Let's do that.
Now, Nartha.
How may I be of... I shall attend to it in a trice.
As directed, for now.
Hardly worth my
We'll just kind of tuck up here.
I've done had enough of this.
Ulsa?
We haven't rested for a long time actually, so it would be a timely move. Kivin again smiles. Milady Imoen, I have heard that it does not befit a human maiden to watch a male undress. Oh well, yeah. Sorry about that, Kivin. I don't mean to intrude or anything, but what's that pendant on your neck? A ranger's insignia, Imoen. What? It is customary for a ranger to choose an animal to identify himself as he walks the land. I would carve or paint it as my mark to let others know my trail. This will help others to discover my fate if I become lost, or will tell a weary traveller who had done him the kindness of equipping a road cabin with food and firewood. Interesting, yours looks like an eagle to me. Falcon, to be more precise. It is not an unusual choice for a foolish youngster who dreams of valour and great feats. You think you were a bit of a dreamer in your youth? Anyhow, it looks pretty, this carving. Rogue should get one too. Actually, I remember there was a legend of a thief who left an imprint of a crimson cloak as his signature. What would I choose for a sigil? Oh, I know. Guess, Kevin, what will be my sign? A sly red fox? That went straight into the resting. Very nice. Okay. We're arrested safely, so that's good.
May darkness prevail.
Oh! Ah!
Now, Nartha.
So I hope you weren't getting any interference. I've got my mobile phone quite near to the computer and it was distracting me, and hence I've just wasted a cure light wounds, which is rather annoying, but there it is.
May darkness prevail.
Anyway. So yeah, in terms of Lord of the Ring... okay. See, this is hard, isn't it, to kind of talk about something and play a game as well. Anyway, let's take out this war dog. Kevin, you can just get back here for a moment. Alwyn, ranged. What I'd really like to find is some enemy with a load of arrows.
Night Singer, may darkness prevail.
Let's give them a right thrash. Your worthless lives end here.
Cool, good shot, Alwyn. Just get him to cast armour.
Ulsa, may darkness prevail.
Kevin does have a bit of problem with those dogs, doesn't he? Never mind. So I'm fairly happy for the party just to kind of walk around at this point. It might get us into a bit of trouble, but I think we've got quite a few tricks up our sleeve which can hopefully get us out of a hole.
What do you want? As you wish. Let's give them a right thrashing.
Okay, Kevin, well done. We'll sleep them, I think.
I could do no other.
Night Singer, give me power. Ulsa,
Have become death.
I might actually just cut away here. And because taking out big bands of war dogs is not really, you kind of know how it goes, and it goes something like that. We'll usually sleep them or just whittle them away. So I'll bring you back in when there's something more interesting. Right, I've got some very odd looking folk here. Two Tasloi or Tasloi. So we're going to give them they've got kind of spears or something, so we're going to give them a volley of something and see how well they stand up to that. Okay, not very well when M1 hits for 14 damage. Okay. Okay, they're only 35 experience points each, so
Don't bother me.
I don't think they're going to cause us too much bother. Weird little things, aren't they? Just got gold and gems, which is fine. Absolutely fine.
Jalcales now Natha.
But so far, this map has not proven to be particularly exciting. It's actually snowing, so obviously a bit of a sort of mountainous, cold area. Can you go off the map this way? Oh, look at that Sea Watcher. Ah. We might actually go there next. That looks more exciting, but. Right. Yeah. The other thing I took from Lord of the Rings was that it was often called by people kind of a bit too black and white, that the evil were just very evil and the good were unfailingly good. And I know there are some notable exceptions to that, and obviously there's going to, I'm talking about this and there may be some spoilers. Okay, more Tasloy.
My blade will cut you down to size.
I think it is more sophisticated than that. There's no doubt about it. And actually, what struck me was actually some of the fears of the enemy that they had throughout the book. And actually, there's many examples in the book of the enemy actually being quite craven, quite fearful, quite unsure, and indeed,
Ulsa, may darkness prevail.
and major spoiler alert here coming up. Perhaps the kind of one of the greatest examples of that is when Sauron kind of completely,
Jalcales
almost loses the plot a little bit in terms of.
now Natha.
God, there's a lot of these. Okay, well done, Viconia. Sauron completely loses it when completely loses his nerve when Aragorn
Yes, as you wish.
stares into the orb and kind of reveals himself as the kind of true king to major spoilers, I did say, to
Darkness prevail.
Sauron, and that kind of prompts him to make some rash military decisions, shall we say, and yeah, so the notion that it was just the notion that the evilness in the book is kind of portrayed fairly simplistically is not doesn't stand up to scrutiny too much. I can see the argument in some ways, of course I can, but it deserves a bit more credit on that front, I think. Oh, what's going on? Oh my goodness me. Looks like a raided caravan. This has got all the hallmarks of bandits. Oh god, there's dead horses. Looks like might be a carcass there or something. Flies around them. Oh dearie me, right, Imoen. Okay.
This way.
Yeah, some dead people, definitely. What a mess. Who's behind this then? Oh! Larissa. Oh! Brage. Hang on a moment. Journal. Quests. Chapter 3. The Tale of Captain Brage. Nellen at the Temple of Helm in Nashkel seems to think that Brage might be under the influence of some evil force. If I return Brage to the temple, he might not be killed for his crimes. Okay. So this is the captain of the Nashkel Guard, who was kind of... Oh, I can't exactly remember. Did he murder his wife or something? Murder his family? Or just go and murder other people and go... He's kind of gone completely... I don't know if postal's the word, but he's kind of lost the plot. And, oh my goodness me. Right. Let's just... Let's just back up a little bit here.
Give me power. May darkness prevail.
And start buffing ourselves. Skeleton. Kivin can't really do anything other than charm some animals, but we're not going to do that just yet.
What you want?
Right. Alwyn, let's have a bless, shall we? Right. So there does seem to be the potential for us to... I think what we're going to do is
be of assistance?
cast... Yeah. Right, the other thing we're going to do is have some decent ammunition on. Might go for the bullets of ice, which give an extra 1d6 cold damage. You, my friend, are going to have something good. What should we have? Let's have some arrows of fire. Ugh, dump one of the whole birds, honestly. He's got enough of them. Let's have some arrows of fire. Brings his Thaco down to a ridiculous 8. That's awesome. Alwyn. You can have some +1 bullets, my man. I know he's already got... Oh, he's been using them. Oh, Alwyn. Oh well. Never mind. They've all been put to use, I suppose. Right. Imowen,
I'm gone.
are you in shadows? Yeah, go. Skeleton, go. Rest of the party, go.
Kalas na.
Actually, stop. Imowen, you carry on.
This way.
Get the skeleton right up against Brage, and Imowen behind this
I've done had enough of this.
slightly priesty looking woman.
Jalkales.
Okay, what is the meaning of all this?
Kalas na.
Larissa, please, I beg of you, to go no further. Brage is there, strewn about with the carnage he has wrought. I have tried to reason with him, but it is as if he is possessed by another's soul. It was all I could do to flee the swing of his tremendous blade. Please, unless you wish to witness madness in once good man, leave him be, and pray the spirit leaves him in good time. Okay. Madness, this could be amusing. Let's go watch, says Viconia. I think the game is pointing to the fact that this man there's a redemption option here. One option is to say, if he's possessed, then we must kill him, to unman the beast. Let us pass and pity him not, for if asked, he would wish it himself. Let's just ask, who is this Braid you speak of? Before this curse befell him, he was the captain of the guard in Nashkel. Ah, yes. I am his cousin, Larissa, for all the bonds of love and blood save him from his present agony, if there be a way to do so. There, don't worry, lady, we'll try and save Braid for you, okay? Says Alwyn from the shadows. I've got around to backstab this woman. Please, I'd be most grateful for any help you can give him. Why is she armed so? That concerns me slightly.
I'm gone.
Greetings, playthings. Thou hast found me when I alone could not.
Now, Nartha.
I could do no other.
My actions are yours.
Okay, Braid is coming to us. Imowen, follow him.
I've done had enough of this.
Who's he going up to? Kivin. I pray you left a trail of crumbs to lead us all back again. The others did not, so they have decided to stay. Shall we try to find the way home together? I pose to you a riddle, the answer to which I once knew, but now cannot perceive. Remind me, and we shall all return unto the day. Fail and stay with me in the dark, forgetting whence we came. Alright. So what's a riddle? It has neither mouth nor teeth, yet eats its food steadily. It has neither village nor home, neither hands nor feet, yet it wanders everywhere. Eats its food. It has neither country nor means, nor office nor pen, yet it is ready for fight always. By day and by night there is wailing about it. It has no breath, yet to all it appears. Must we endure this one's ravings? I say, just kill him and be done with it. Well, okay, so alright, so we've got to answer this riddle, and we've got us. Mouth that eats its food steadily. Neither village nor home, neither hands nor feet, yet it wanders everywhere. It is neither country nor means, nor office nor pen, yet it is ready for fight always. The insect. I'm not sure about the insect. Death. There's no breath at all, it appears. The circus. Ready for fight. The moon. Well, it's not going to be a bear. It's not going to be an outlaw. Moon. I'm not sure about that. It wanders everywhere. By day and by night there is wailing about it. The circus. No. Death, possibly. The insect. Wind. What's the eating its food steadily all about then? War. Neither hands nor feet. Ready for fight suggests war, doesn't it? But does it appear to everyone? The insect. I don't think it's the insect. I'm probably going to go war on the balance of all that. It seems the one that it applies to the most. Death is also quite tempting. eating its food steadily is I suppose death is a very... ready for fight. Fight to the death? Yet to all it appears. Yeah, maybe death, I think. I'll go death. The end of night, where the light shines unto mine eyes, and I can see clearly once again. What hath I wrought? 'Tis horrible, horrible. I will welcome the block that must await me at Nashkel. How could I live with what I've done? Please, thou must guide me to the town that I might pay for my crime. I think we've got the right answer. I fear I can keep my senses for only so long, and I must not be allowed to do this again. Too many good people have lost their lives to me. Please. We might have got the redemption option. Well done, Alwyn. Because Alwyn got the right answer, of course, didn't he? You know, he's got intelligence 19. See, that's the problem with role-playing. If I'd have got that wrong, you could have accused me of not faithfully role-playing Alwyn. Of course, he would have got the right answer. It's bloody Alwyn, isn't it? Anyway, let's see what happens. Viconia's not impressed. She just wanted to take him out. So we can actually decide to kill him. We shall take you to the Temple of Helm in hopes that you may be healed. We'll see you back safe as we can, though I don't see how killing you will help those that have died. We shall take you to the Temple of Helm in hopes that you may be healed. I fear I can do nothing for those I've wronged, whether I live or die, and still I know not what led me to this. It's like a foul presence in my mind. I can only imagine that I have finally succumbed to battle fatigue. Take my weapon, that I might not harm another. Use it if thou wish, though I'd rather it be destroyed. Innocent blood on everything. I'd only just acquired the sword. Such a waste this has been. Take me to Nashkel. I can bear this no longer. I'd only just acquired the sword. So something was controlling him. Oh right, we just get...
Greetings, playthings.
But what?
Thou hast found me when I alone could not.
we were on a expedition. We we can buy some arrows at least for old Kivin. Alwyn wasn't really intending on, you know, this was supposed to be a nice expedition along the coast, and then Imwin goes and dies, so we have to traipse back to Beregost, and now this, we're in Nashkel, aren't we? In the Temple of Helm. Oh, goodness me. Anyway, I suppose I should be pleased. We've got a reputation increase, we've gained an item, and we've got 1,000 experience, so... No, I cannot show my face here after what I've done. Just give me to the guard that I might take my punishment as I should. Do not disgrace me further in front of Helm. Oh, poor Brage. I feel for him. Sorry, yeah, here we go. Calm yourself, Brage. Helm sees all that he wishes and knows much of what you do not. It was your hands indeed that did many a foul deed, but it was not your will alone. Intent is vital, and yours was influence without your knowledge. Justice will be done, but with atonement, not punishment. Well, there we go. Mercy. But my crimes, my family, I don't want to go on. If you are returned to the garrison, yours will be the only willful killing that has occurred about this matter. It would be a waste of your life, which, fractured though it is, can still contribute much. Helm will see you through. As for our intrepid friends here, I shall exceed the reward offered by Ublek. After all, it was the same task of bringing Brage to justice. Right? Ublek was the sort of rather rotund individual in Nashkel who was offering bounties, one of which was Brage. The temple is in your debt for the return of its lost son. So the kind of vengeful... I wondered whether it might be a sort of vengeful god situation where he would be struck down or something by, you know, for his foul deeds. But actually, there's a slightly more progressive tone to how this is being dealt with by the temple, which is Which is nice, isn't it? Inward, see, aren't you glad you listened to my idea to bring him here instead of turning him in for the bounty? Now we've got double the reward money. I think Alwyn's a bit more relieved about the reputation increase, to be honest. Because I don't think he much liked being disliked. He doesn't want to necessarily be famous and all goody-goody, but doesn't really like being disliked. Yeah, you're right, Emma. Glad I took your advice. I don't think I like the way you said that. There wasn't really any option to kind of just say yes and move on. So anyway, thank you again for your help. So
I thought I could think no less of this group, but with this behavior.
Must we be so insufferably charitable?
Yeah, anyone else? Yeah? Yeah? Reputation average. Blessed average. Oh, Alwyn loves average. Average is kind of good, it's inconspicuous, it's unremarkable, it's perfect for Alwyn. We like average. And do you know what? It might shut Ajantis up if ever we...
It shall be as you wish.
If ever we come back to him. I won't get Alwyn
Good
to
on
talk.
you if you save the day.
Alwyn to talk to him because his charisma is just appalling. So let's... Okay, so he's just... Oh, well, what a nice end that is. I mean, I'm a bit miffed we've had to come all the way from... Oh, it still says we're there. That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Call us Nath.
Helm watch over thee upon thy quest.
Huh. Have we got anything to identify while we're here? A two-handed sword. This was the sword that was owned by Brage. We'll identify it. Ah, here we go. This is a cursed sword which performs perfectly under every test save the heat of battle. Upon entering combat, the wielder will immediately go berserk, killing everything within reach until either calming down or falling unconscious. A very powerful sword, but one must decide whether or not it is worth the risk. Now, I suggest Brage would suggest it's probably not worth the risk. Even once the battle fury is ended, this sword can only be removed via an exorcism using a remove curse spell. So the wielder will go berserk, and it can be removed with the remove curse spell, but it's a +3 two-handed sword. Incredible. Two-handed sword, cursed berserking +3. Well, there you go. What an item that is. Well, well. Now that's a side quest.
Call us Nath.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Which we've kind of inadvertently done. It was in the journal to do, to be fair, but we've done it, and now, yes, we are in Nashkel. And it's 40 hours to that Sea Watcher place. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we'll probably go back to that area where Brage was. There might be some stuff to loot. So, yeah, see you there. Yeah, the advantage of coming back to Nashkel is that we've been able to re-equip somewhat. Kivin has now got a big full quiver of arrows, and you can see that he's dual-wielding longswords. So, yeah, the Thako is the same with his primary hand, but you've got a 16-20 there on the Thako. And the offhand, so this sword is +4 on the Thako, which is not good, so that's 20, so he's not going to be hitting much with his offhand really. So that means he needs to roll a 20 to hit someone with armor class of 0, so obviously that's not going to happen too often, but you know, maybe if there's an incapacitated enemy, something like that, he'll be able to deal extra damage on top of what he would with the halberd. So, you know, it might be interesting to see how it goes. And, you know, I'm not sure how long Kivon's going to stick around, so it's probably worth experimenting. And he is proficient in long swords and 2 weapon styles, so it's not like it's a complete alien form of combat, but obviously, far and away, his main ability comes with the bow, 11 Thaco, which is just so good. Now, yes, I've bought some more bullets. I don't think I've got anything else particularly interesting, but what I thought is, well, it would be rude not to spend the night in the inn and have a jolly good round of drinks, but overall, I think Alwyn will be pretty pleased with the Brage side quest, the money, and more crucially, the boosting of a reputation from to bang average, I suppose you would say, which neither draws attention nor causes problems with shop prices and I guess people's general disposition. And talking of which, I might just have a little word with a commoner just to see what they've got to say to us these days.
Things to do. Why not being sitting on me duffer talking to you?
Know what I heard? I heard that some brave souls went through the mines and gave the beasties in there a big old whooping. I sure hope it's true. I don't think Alwyn would want to own up to that. He's not in it for the fame. If it is true, that pretty much solves all your problems, doesn't it? Not by a long shot. Don't matter if we got ore when bandits control the roads north. Besides, everyone still thinks Arm is behind it all. If they are, it means war isn't far off. No more troubles, I wish. Don't think it's Arm. We've been to the bandit camp and didn't look like they had too much to do with it. But anyway, the iron crisis is still on the
darkness prevail.
On the minds of the locals. Does a soldier have anything to say to us?
Stand away, citizen!
Why are you not at the fair, citizen? 'Tis but a moment's walk east of Nashkel. Yeah, we do need to get to the fair at some point. As much as anything, we do need to try and find someone who is going to sell us some cool mage spells, because we're seriously undercooked in terms of our spell book. I mean, if you look at Alwyn, he's only got 2 lucks in there, which is rather pathetic. So I really need someone who's going to sell us some decent spells. So that's a key thing. But yeah, that little excursion into the wilds had a happy ending. So I think Alwyn will be happy just to poke around in that western area a little more. So we are going to get over back to that area. Sea Watcher you can see in the far west. I'm not sure what that is at all. We'll probably will have a look at it, but probably in the next episode. At this point, it's still not too long since the bandit camp, but the party, I suppose, may start to ask questions about why Alwyn hasn't gone on to the logical next step, which is to probe Cloakwood. Up here, a mere 32 hours away. Particularly someone like Edwin, who will be seemingly, well, he won't be cowed by any of the things that kind of keep Alwyn awake at night. You know, I think Edwin just thinks he'll be able to roll through whoever is looking to stand in his way. And Viconia probably has got something of a taste for the dominance the party had exerted over some of the bigwigs associated with the bandit camp. So, but I think they're going to be patient for now and give Alwyn a bit more time. Now, one thing I thought we'd do is Find Familiar, this spell that we picked up some time ago. It's a level 1 spell. But I've looked at it and there's no point in writing it to the spellbook because it's just a one-time cast. And what this does is summon a familiar to act as the wizard's aid and companion. Familiars are typically small creatures. A creature acting as a familiar can benefit a wizard, conveying its sensory powers to its master, conversing with him, and serving as a guard, scout, spy as well. A wizard can have only one familiar at a time, and he has no control over what sort of creature answers the summoning, if any come at all. So this spell may only be cast by the protagonist, i.e. Alwyn. The creature is always more intelligent than others of its type. So its bond with the wizard confers upon it an exceptionally long life. The wizard has an empathic link with the familiar and can issue it mental commands. So Alwyn... so the caster receives half the familiar's total hit points, rounded down as bonus hit points. However, the caster must take care to treat his familiar well, for if the familiar should die, the caster loses the bonus hit points and half the familiar's hit points again as damage. So that could finish you off if you lose your familiar. And also, when a familiar dies, the caster loses 1 point of constitution permanently in block capitals. So you don't want your familiar to die. So actually there's some risk in casting this spell. So if a mage has 12 hit points and casts Find Familiar, the imp summoned has 9 hit points, so the caster gets a bonus of 4 hit points. The caster now has 16 hit points. Yada yada yada. So we are lawful neutral. And we will get a ferret, which means the hit points will go up by 6, half of the 12 there. The ferret has 35 magic resistance, 35%, that is. Got a decent Thaco of 15 with 1d3 damage. That's about the same as a dart, I think. But it gets 2 attacks per round. And is a creature that is good at hiding in shadows, detecting traps, can cast Blur, which I think is a level 2 spell. Immune to level drain, sleep and petrification. Now, we're going to... I think Alwyn has decided to try this out. I think it's worth it for the hit points alone. And having a little scout to do your bidding is probably not a bad idea, but you have to be mindful of that constitution thing. I mean, Alwyn's constitution is 15. It's artificially propped up to 16 because of the Buckley's Buckler. So if you take that off, hit points goes down to 22. But I think we will test it out, and Alwyn will probably consider it worth it. So let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Look at that little ferret. Go, go, go. Go up Zar's leg. Go on. Up you go. No. So, what? Right. So the ferret can detect traps. It can pick pockets, which I think will be rather dangerous. And it can hide in shadows, as long as it doesn't fail. It's only 50% hide in shadows. I think it said 50%. So it's not as good as Immerwin, but it could be a useful scout. Right. It said it can cast Blur, but I don't see that anywhere. Unless that is a sort of an AI thing.
You have but to ask.
Okay, so I've just spoken to the ferret, and it's the familiar size, its nose twitching slightly with curiosity as it looks up with dark eyes. What is it now, man? I am hungry. I wish to be petted and fed. Let's pet the familiar. Ah, the familiar half closes its eyes with contentment, a pleased smile creeping across its face. Yes, this is good. Food would also be nice. Food. How are you? Everything okay down there? It looks up with dark eyes, seemingly content to just be near you. It sighs and looks away briefly. We are connected, you and I. If you are well, so am I. Okay, so this is like a voice in Alwyn's head, I suppose. But since you ask, I am possessed of a craving for food. Procure some for me, and I shall allow you to pet me for a while longer.
You have but to ask.
Petted and fed. It's definitely hungry, the old ferret, isn't it? Would the ferret have any advice? Your familiar has little to offer. I'm hungry, it says. And it says nothing more for some time, even after it's been fed. The animal is a fickle creature. There's something of the sort of feline about it, isn't there? Can take or leave you, but likes being petted and fed, and that's about it. So we don't really want the ferret out and about to get hurt. So come here. I want to pick you up and put you in my pack where it's a bit safer. The familiar eyes your pack and then reluctantly crawls inside. Very well. It is better that you carry me. Do not bump me around so much this time. Party has gained an item. Oh yeah, the item cannot be removed. Ah, this is your familiar, a ferret, currently curled up and safe in your backpack. The ferret is an incredibly quick and agile animal, hard to hit, and magically made resistant to both damage and spells. The ferret's uncanny ability to get into almost anything unseen makes it a handy pickpocket. We haven't done any pickpocketing because I think if you fail, then the target turns hostile, which is not really what we want. Bit of a silly looking graphic in the inventory there. It looks rather dumpy at the bottom of the ferret, whereas I always think them as quite long, slinky, lithe creatures. But anyway, mustn't grumble. The other thing we can do actually is just identify one of these bits of ammunition. Bolt of polymorphing. This bolt has been enchanted with powerful magic, glowing slightly with almost a green inner light. If the bolt finds its target once it's fired, the target must make a save vs polymorph or be transformed into a squirrel. It's got a save versus polymorph or be turned into a squirrel permanently. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Imowen, you can have the squirrelator. I'm actually looking forward to identifying this last bit of ammunition, because then this curious looking arrow, because then I can actually get rid of an identify slot in Alwyn's level 1 spells, and I'll probably replace it with something like blindness again. So yes. Right, let's go in.
Now, Nartha. Call us Na.
There's Monteron at the bar again. He's clearly had a few too many. Poor old chap.
May darkness prevail.
But no, as I've said many times before, Monteron deserved to die, so we do not bear any bad feelings about that one. Anyway, let's have a few drinks, shall we? I think it's only fair. Bitter and black ale for you, Viconia, to go with your personality. No, that's a bit unfair, but you know what I mean. People still banging on about the mines in the pub. Nice stout ale for you, Alwyn. Edwin, you can have a stout ale and a bitter black ale. And Zar, a single blood wine for you. Lovely. Right, I think before we go to bed, Alwyn's going to quickly ask the bartender if he knows what on earth you feed a ferret with.